Homage watches within the world of watches. Collector, a buyer or a seller, you've obviously come across this term time and time again. I've heard it myself many times and I don't like it. I find it not fresh and not cool and certainly not how it should be. Whether I like it or not though, it is a big factor of the watch world that we live in. Guys, welcome back to Horology Biology. In this video, I'm going to give the top 5 reasons what I don't like about Homage watches and why you really don't need these in your life whatsoever. No sir, you really don't. Number 1 on my list, the word homage in general. It winds me up. It is like using the wrong terminology behind something when you're trying to express a point. Seriously.
Never the wrong word at the wrong time.
As far as I'm concerned, these watches should just be called copied watches, because that is what they are. The word homage originates, if you look at it in regards to the dictionary, it means something to be with honor, it is something that is praised, it is even something that is worshipped, like I am paying homage to this person because of all this goodness that they've done. Now these Chinese companies that are knocking out these watches, I'm pretty sure that they're not paying homage, really when you think about it, to the original Swiss companies that designed these models in the first place. Now there are many different brands out there which you can find. You've got Matic, which make Amiga copies. You also got the San Martins that make the Rolex Submariner copies. There's the other ones, what is it, Pagini or Pagini. It sounds Italian, but we know it ain't. And they're making the Tudor copies. Quanqin making Rolex Submariner copies, even spelling chronometer wrong. But still, people give no shits and they will still buy it. Not normal, man, and not fresh. There's many of these brands out there that you can buy on places like AliExpress for next to nothing, and you're basically wearing a piece of cheap garbage on your wrist. Number 2 on my list. If you look at many of these brands that you have, like San Martin, if that's how you even pronounce it, I don't care if it is or it isn't. Don't like it, don't care. At the end of the day, they just basically copy other brands like famous Rolex Submariners, or they copy Omega Seamasters, and these watches look virtually the same as the real deal. Now there, I emphasize it as much as I can in my voice, the real deal. Because what you're not getting is the real deal.
As opposed to my movie, The Real Deal, which was not the real deal.
It also surprises me as well that they get away with copying as much as they do. Now obviously they're going to copy as much as they can, as get it as close to the bone without creating any kind of copyright infringement. Otherwise they simply wouldn't get away with it. And it goes back to my first point, I'm pretty sure that they're not returning any of this revenue in regards to their honor to the original Swiss manufacturers, and they're pocketing all the money for themselves. Number 3 on my list. We all like nice things in life. I like nice things. Of course I do. Wouldn't be human if I didn't.
As a kid, I knew I was meant to own nice things.
I will just never understand why some people are happy wearing something that basically is not the real deal, but it's acting like it is the real deal. For example, let me explain the situation. I own a nice Golf R-Line. I like it a lot. Super fresh, super nice. It gets me from A to B. But I would really like to own a GTI. Now at the end of the day, if I really wanted to, I could go out there and I could go on eBay, cop myself some GTI stickers and stick them on my whip, and then turn around to everybody and go, yeah, look at me, I got a fresh GTI. No sir, it doesn't work like that. People basically would know once I get closer that it's not a GTI at all. It's a Golf with some GTI stickers on it. That's not fresh. I see it exactly the same in regards to the watches that we're talking about right about now. Whether it's going to be an IWC copy or a Submariner copy or even a Seamaster James Bond copy. At the end of the day, it's not the real deal. From a distance, it looks pretty close, but once you get up close, you realize it is not what it's supposed to be. No sir. Number 4 on my list. Of course, you're paying for quality, and that is not what you're going to get when you're buying something like this.
Quality control.
Now, many people will be happy with this because they'll be shelling out a couple of $100 instead of shelling out $4,000, let's say. But then you cannot complain when this thing falls apart after a couple of months because the movement inside is an absolute piece of crap, or the machining of it is completely wrong, or even I've seen on some of these examples where they've even spelt the word chronometer wrong, and how some people are completely accepting of this. It's not normal, man. When it comes to their own company that is making like a heritage piece or an homage of one of its original pieces, I have no problem with this whatsoever. You know why? Because it's their product in the first place. They're the one that created the originality and the designs behind this, and years upon years later they've decided to release a heritage piece out there. Tissot do it many times. Longines is another brand. And one of my personal favorites, which came out, I believe it was a couple of years ago, was when Aquastar relaunched the Deep Star, and they relaunched it looking virtually exactly the same as the original. And that's the thing. The price of it also reflected it as well. It was worth a lot less than how much you would pay for an original Deep Star, but it looks super fresh and super nice. For me, that is what I actually call an homage watch. It is honoring the traditionals and it is honoring the technicals of the original piece that came out many, many years ago. That to me is a correct homage. Everything else that I've discussed, that's just a copy. And number 5 on my list, the last reason why I do not like these watches, and it's also something that is more of a question, because it's also something that I just do not understand. The only reason that you're buying this is because it looks like something else that you've seen. Ask yourself this: if you'd never seen a Submariner before, or you'd never seen a Seamaster Professional before, and you saw this watch and the way it looks, would you buy it based on that? Probably not. I'm not saying that you wouldn't find it attractive or any shape or form, but the fundamental reason of why you are buying this, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, is because it looks like a Submariner.
What do you mean?
I think subconsciously.
And that is the given. You might not agree with that, but think about it. It really is the reason why you're buying it, because it looks like something expensive when it's not. For the same money that you spend on some of these so-called homage watches, you could buy yourself a nice vintage piece, which is very original. It will be very original to you. Yeah, it won't look like a Submariner or something like that, but then at the same time, you're also not going to look like a sheep walking around with something that's not even what it's supposed to be in the first place. Now, you could take it or leave it as exactly as you want, but as far as I'm concerned, these are just copied watches that for some reason or another, we as human beings have decided to stick this label onto it of homage to give it a little bit of funk or making it a little bit more acceptable for our stomachs to handle. Guys, have a think about that one. Until next time.